this thing warm up. Good morning, YouTube. What's going on, everybody? Real quick shout out to ACAS. Yeah, ACAS put out his video first thing this morning and it was rocking. He did a good video and whatnot. But hey, what's going on? I'm probably going to do a little bit of monologuing here to begin with. I'll catch up with the chat in just a second. But Gregor Manarino did a good video this morning and showed quite quickly that the end is nigh. The bond yield curve is very inverted. He shows it in his video. I shared it on YouTube, on the community page, and I shared it on Twitter, because that's the only place that I can share anymore, because G Plus is gone. Most of y'all haven't followed over to the Twitter, but whichever. But it's over there, Gregor Manarino's channel. You can check his out. The bond yield curve being inverted, it's like for a 1 month bond, it's like 2.4 some percent, and for the 30 or 10 year, it's like 2.42. It's like 0.03 of a point higher for a 10 yield. The basic bottom line is that you don't get any return for investing long term. You can only get money on the short term, which fuels the stock market. And we've talked about this incessantly, but basically that's propping up the bankers. It's the bankers propping up their buddies, and in the system, the bottom line is it's all gonna crash at some point when other investors, other types, get out of their bonds, and it reverses that trend and goes up. But go check out Greg's video. It's definitely concerning, which leads me to the idea that how much closer is Kickoff to getting here. And let's make no mistake about it, we are going to be receiving Kickoff and having to deal with the consequences, because the powers that be, those that control such things and manipulate such things, are able to do so in a manner that they determine when Kickoff is. They determine when we get to receive the ball. You know how the kicker times his kick? That's basically what the bankers can do. And we're gonna have to eat it and be ready to receive appropriately, if you know what I'm saying. And then there was another video last night, and there's been other stories in the last couple of weeks about store closures, business closures in the U.S. and otherwise. 5,000 some plus locations are closed. They're going to be closing soon. All these brick and mortar stores and whatnot. And it got me to thinking about how the way the system's being promoted and how it's all leading into a funnel. And it's funneling everything in the same direction. The noise wind is brutal today. I don't know if you guys, I'm probably talking really loud, but you guys probably hear me. The way microphones work, they don't pick up the wind noise so bad. But they're funneling all this stuff in one direction, and that is to promote the ones that the government props up and rewards certain businesses, right? That lead into their agenda, and they have winners and losers that are choosing, such as your Amazon. When all these brick and mortar stores get shut down, the government's going to be able to funnel everybody in one direction and go, you know, and push people in the direction of, well, you don't have to worry about it. You can still get Amazon. You don't need a car, because you don't need to go shopping. You don't need to go buy things because you have Amazon. You're going to have all these things delivered right to your door via drone or otherwise. And they're going to be able to brush off accusations and people's complaints by saying, look at all these other services you have. You can use the U.S. Postal Service to bring you Amazon, etc., etc. Or who knows who went out in the FedEx UPS war. Who knows how that'll work. But the government will choose that winner. That's part of the corporatocracy that is being established. So I'd say get your preps ready. It's definitely getting to crunch time. Praxis Prepper did a video this morning too about the food shortages that not only were problematic when we were dealing with China trade implications and all those issues, but now we have the massive flooding and storms in the Midwest right at crop planting time. And as he brought up, massive crops were stored up because of this Chinese tariff issue, and they were trying to hold them back and store them up, a lot of grains and such, until there was a better price point that they could be sold. And now they're not able to do that because a lot of these crops that were stored are now going to be destroyed in this flooding as well. So food shortages, food price hikes. Yeah, if your food isn't stored up, you're going to be paying a higher price now. Come this summer, I mean, we'll see what happens, but it's writing's on the wall to some point, it looks like. If you don't get it from inflation because of the stock market bond issues, if you don't have inflation that way, you're going to get inflation because of just outright food shortages. So that's going on. And all these are kind of apexing together. Everything's kind of starting towards the peak, you know, and that's just kind of how I see it. And it's not looking good. Or, I mean, I guess it was inevitable. It seems to be more right here at the front windshield now, and we really need to be in tune with what is going on around us, and it needs to be everything, a holistic picture. Like I was talking about the other day in the chat, it's like, if you haven't got your guns and ammo by now, you're way behind the power curve. And if you haven't gotten food by now, you're going to be behind the power curve, because even if you weren't preparing for the everyday daily disaster, the big disaster, the economic collapse, the big kahuna, or global warfare, however you want to consider it, it's going to dovetail together one way or the other. Those things are going to come together and really put you in a crunch, or those you know in a crunch. And that's what I've been getting ready for, right? Or at least I have. the big one, you know. And it looks to be more prevalent and more in front of us every day with the way things are going. Multiple stories this week out about military training and events taking place to counter China's moves in the South Pacific, moves and counter moves, Marine generals testifying before Congress about the need to counter China's moves and the need for certain weaponry and supplies and money and everything else to go on. And it's just like, it's there, it's coming, get prepared, right? So that's kind of my thoughts going along with the title. Be prepared to receive the kickoff, because we're going to have to eat it in whatever fashion it comes. And the more you have stored up to eat, literally, means you're going to be able to fend off a little bit less of the problems that come down the pike. Whether it's economic problems cause the warfare, or warfare causes the economic problems, whichever one comes first, the next one's going to follow in suit. So, folks, be ready. The signs are out there. We've been trying to evaluate and see it, kind of plan for it, and you can only spread the word so far, I guess. A lot of people that watch here are already well into their game planning. You know, you're already planning your game, how you're going to execute. But those around you, those that you can affect and influence, is more important as well, or just as important, to have a cohort to go with and be with. So let me see who's checking in here now that I've went off that route. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. I dropped there a little bit. I should be back. Oh, and I lost my. Okay, there's my side chat. Let me go back. Got Angel R in the house. Tommy Boy 9. Tommy Boy, you're gonna have something in the mail soon. It won't get there probably as soon as you're gold, but it'll be. All right, I dropped again. Give me a thumbs up if you can see me again. Let me make sure I'm connected before I rant some more. All right, Tony's in the house. That's not a thumbs up, but that'll count, I guess. It'll have to work. The Reb is with us. War Drums Network, right? The War Drums are beating pretty heavily today. No doubt. Let me catch back up here. So, yeah, Tommy Boy, you should have something in the mail. Stand by. I again, your gold will probably be there faster, but hey, it'll get there. Team Foco, what's going on? And how you doing? You feel something weird is coming? Well, I don't know if it's weird. It's just more like history repeating itself. It's just more of the same. Human nature, right? Tommy Boy's last ounce is in Nashville. At least it's close, right? Quasar, what's going on? How's that flooding out your way, Quasar? Don't use FedEx. Don't use FedEx, all right? Sometimes I don't have a choice. Whoever you buy from ships it whatever way they want. Hope that flooding's not holding you down, though. There's some bad stuff out that way. Gas is up 70 cents, right? Yeah, gas prices have really spiked the last 2 weeks or so. We were down at about $2.25, and now we're up, well, 270, 275. We're going to Reno now. We can check the prices there. I'm fully suspecting that'll be close to $3 in certain spots. So the gas prices have definitely spiked. Tommy Boy want to be like the elites. Well, like I've always said, gold and silver are never going to get the common man rich, but they will help you survive in the long term, in my opinion. That's the only purpose behind it. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not the hype of like the 401k where you're going to have this nice, luxurious retirement, but they will help you live and survive after this other mess is gone. That's my planning angle, at least. All right, Reb, hope you're doing good. Checking in on Friday. Yeah, something will be coming, Tommy Boy. Just be on standby. Nothing special. It's not gold or silver. Hey, Billy Bird, how you doing? Don't mess with those antlers. Bro Lance, how's it going? Bro Lance actually dropped a video the other day. Bro Lance singing sweet music the other day. Caught me off guard. I'm sitting by the computer and boom, Bro Lance is on live stream. Like, what? It came out of nowhere. No doubt. Now, he's out your way, is it, Quasar? Right, you and Bro Lance in the same neck of the woods? Quasar's on the high ground. Nice, nice. That's good. Good prepper planning, right? Oh, Bro Lance, Kansas, Missouri. What's the difference? They're pretty close to each other, at least. Are you in the flat part of Kansas, Bro Lance, or are you in like hill country? I got partners in crime out in the hill country. But whole West Kansas business, you can have that. That's some madness. That just drives me crazy every time I drive through there. Like, oh man, get me through here as fast as possible. You're in the southeast part, very flat too. Yeah, I got people I know in the northeast. A little hillier, but it's still kind of flat depending on. But it's by the river there and whatnot, so it's a little undulates, not like the western part. It's just land plains on it all day long. Never worry about it, right? Anybody else see anything popping up in the news of concern this morning? Like I said, I just saw those videos this morning, and especially that bond yield diversion thing is definitely. And we've been watching it and talking about it, and it's definitely here. And everybody's trying to play it off. Fed had their thing Wednesday. Fed held rates. They're not going to raise. They're not going to get rid of any of the ill-begotten gains they've gotten from. They're going to hold their money and bonds that they've got. So they're not going to be out in that stuff. So the market's just going to go up, up, up. That's the only reason to do that, because the market can't go up because there's no real economy. If you didn't see that Wednesday, that went down. I didn't have a chance to comment on that, but that was definitely more shaking your head of the same. Like, man, you hear about all the stuff and like how it's going to progress, and like, well, there it is. There, it's happening. So there it is. It's happening. Tommy Boy's waiting for the big false flag to get the guns. What was New Zealand? What was what was October 1? Out here in Nevada, that October 1 definitely hit hard. No matter how it was staged or how it went down, it was definitely manipulated after the fact to impose gun restrictions, which fortunately people are fighting back against, which is more news this week out here in Nevada. We had 2 more counties and county sheriffs make resolutions, make statements. Basically, you can take your universal background check law and pack sand. We're not going to enforce it, which is good news. So that's continuing the fight out here. Basically, you have 15 counties against 2, make them come and enforce their ill-begotten law, is the way many of us are approaching it. Do not comply, for sure, is in full effect. Most people are too distracted, says Angel, right? Well, that's your job, Angel, is get out there and shake them upside the head as you do your nightly walk. And something of 9/11 level. Yeah, it depends on if they want to, what the manipulation they want to do. They're using these small events quite effectively on the psychological warfare side. These small events are almost having, because remember, the whole purpose of 9/11 was to galvanize the country together against an outside enemy. That was what the end result of that was, manipulated in that way. I guess it depends on what their ultimate outside goal is, but the trend is that they want to divide America and destroy it, essentially, which they already have. But instead of worried about the bigger power to be in the government. So I think that's what we need to worry about, is big events that continue to divide and distract the country against each other, if you will, from each other, because that's the big concern, is a problem. But okay, we're still rolling, it looks. But yeah, they don't have to use a big false flag, because they don't want to unite everybody together against a common enemy. They want to make everybody consider each other, so that they won't work together against the government, against the powers that be there trying to control them. They're taking their freedom. The real enemy that's taking their freedom, they're not highlighting, because they want to distract from that. So thus the smaller level events of keeping racism alive and keeping all these supposed racist attacks and everything else, whether it's synagogues or mosques or black and white or whatever, all that stuff, which, you know, religious attacks, whatever you want to call it, they're using. Hey, Westwood Survival, you got that move in yet? I haven't seen any video since your one-handed fire started. Wake up, Canuck, good morning. There's the resolution. I don't know about YouTube, but my cell signal's been going in and out. I've been losing connection here. Let me get you guys a good view here now that we're getting into the place outside of the brick and mortar. Get you some views. We still got a little bit of winter lingering around here. That's a little bit better. Everybody getting their spring planting plans in place. Do all that good crop organization and whatnot. That's on the agenda. Got to get that stuff done. Got to get all the plants in the ground and stuff figured out for that. Everybody's in a hurry this morning, it looks like. That's a big statement. I can't read all that while I'm driving. Use the word potato. Hey, Uncle Al, how's it going over there on your side of the mountains, Uncle Al? Can you see the snow from your place? Dive Bullfrog 79 checking in. Hey Tracy, how's it going? Yeah, we were just talking about the universal background check thing, Tracy. Everybody's pretty much outside of Washoe and Clark. Everybody else is saying pack sand. So I don't know how effective that's going to be. If people in Vegas would just not comply, we wouldn't have any problems, you know? We'd be set. I think I'm going to get a little bit of lag right here when we get towards the top up here. Get ready to go down to the valley. Might lag out for a second too. That's a little bit of a dead spot, especially for live streaming. West winds, you're off to work. Can't wait to see that move, West winds. That's going to be good stuff. Yeah, have a good day. We'll see you later, Wayne. Thanks for checking in. Oh, there he is. Mule Team, what's going on? Mule Team dropped like a data dump yesterday. He did that one discussion video the other day, then all of a sudden I turn around and Mule's done dropped like every video he ever made at one time. That was good stuff. I tried to watch, I mean, I couldn't watch every one, but I tried to watch as many as I could. Out there getting some. I found it interesting with the American version. He's not become good stuff. That was good family time and everything. I enjoyed that. Thanks for the info, Mule. It's good to see you still out and about getting things done. Here's the great Washoe Valley. Looks like it made it through without lagging. Are those all old videos? Those aren't new? Oh, I didn't tell by looking at them. Man, if I had to put up all my old videos out, I'd be uploading for days. That's a good call though. That's a good for posterity's purposes. I did put that one training video back up last year just to keep that as posterity, but probably should maybe look at re-uploading some of the older ones with the burpee challenges. Ones were always good to motivate, get people just thinking about different ways to improve their training and fitness all at the same time. Hey Bobby, what's up? How you doing? You got 2 goats birthing? Yeah, our birthings are over. We had all ours 2 weeks ago. Yeah, the goats are sheep have arrived. We got all the babies running around. So we got that going on. Now, Mule, you're not hiding. Everybody knows who you are, I think. Wow, Tracy, you got a grandson too? Man, I must be a slacker. Or maybe I'm just still too young. It's one of those things you don't get them till you need them. It's or till you deserve them might be a better way to put it. I guess when I deserve grandkids, I'll get them. Oh, okay, Quasar, I didn't know that. Did not know that Saints was going in for some surgery. Is it a back issue, or I know he's got remnant problems from the days of jumping out of airplanes and stuff. Yes, yeah, Bobby, there's lots of snow still up in them there mountains. We're gonna have a good water year this year. There's not gonna be no shortage around here. Yeah, the snow, if I can Snow's looking good. So hip surgery? Okay. That's still not good. That's, man. Hip surgery is always the worst too because it hurts your mobility so much. I guess he gets the titanium version and he's going to be good. You got another storm coming out? You're going to send a storm our way? Well, Bobby, you're not supposed to get snow down there where you are. Saint's going to be the bionic man. Right on. Maybe he can join us in some chats some more if he'll be laid up for a while. He'll be able to join in and converse on the YouTube a little bit while he's recovering. Yeah, very wet here down there where you are too, Tracy. Yeah, we just had a little rain Wednesday, and we're supposed to get some more this weekend. I think Sunday night. That's probably what Uncle Al's talking about. A lot of those big storms don't even make it over the mountains to us. They're kind of like, we get a little bit, but nothing like they get on the peaks. They just get soaked or feet upon feet of snow dumped on them. You know? Adjust this back a little bit. So life is going pretty good here other than having to drive to the big city today. Yeah, I still kick myself for not having a good water catchment system, rain catchment, because this has been another good year to store up some rainwater. Good thing to happen around here. Going to the big city, Bobby. Where's the other back we're going? Haven't you seen this view before? This is the way to. This is north out of Carson City, going into Reno. That's this route we've done in the past, as we've done in the past. Spot right there, going under the bridge. What, Quasar? No, we're not going up in the mountains with puppies. I don't think that wouldn't be cool at all. Yeah, Bobby, this is, that was just Washoe Valley we were in, Washoe Lake, and pretty much that's the only thing between Carson and Reno. And we're 11 miles from Reno right now, be in town. Yeah, Tracy, catching water is pretty easy. You just gotta set up your system, you know. I gotta get a whatever you call it, the storage device, the storage tub, and then the gutters to put it in there. But it hasn't taken precedence with the other animal things, and like I said, we got growing plants we got to get started, such things such as that. Oh, Brolance, it was terrible. Nebraska got all kinds of flooding. There's flooding, just huge floods. There's videos, pretty epic. I saw one of the dam, or one of the earthen dam breaks or whatever, and it, went totally, took that down. There was some pretty severe flooding in several areas. We were talking about the beginning of the chat here, Brolance, was that it's going to affect how it could affect food prices later this year. Not only do you have the tariff issue with China, but lot of those farmers out there were storing up their grains and stuff to get a better price point before they sold, and now any of those stored up supplies are gone too. So could have a pretty significant food price spike this summer, you know. So just something to be aware of if you haven't got good food stored up. Maybe just plant an extra bit in the garden to get you through. Maybe don't plan on having any grains this summer. If you don't have to use grain, don't use it. Soybeans. Soybeans is probably going to be a big one that was in that deal. Who's that, Tony? No, Tony, we're not talking about March Madness. Quasar spreading rumors. Hey, Rooster, what's going on? You getting rain over on your side of the mountain yet? They say we're getting storm coming through Sunday, so we're just waiting for that. You know? Oh, hey, what's up, Matt? Resist the tyrannies in the house. You got the illegals coming across at the gross now. It looks like they had that one article this week about like 175 jumping across there. Busy time of year. Busy time of year for the border for sure. What's CL, Tracy? CL has big plastic containers. Talking about for water, for storing water. Craigslist? I'll get into about Craigslist. You know those big totes? Some of those totes go for sale pretty cheap, like the 100-gallon totes. Getting ready to rain in the Central Valley. Okay. Yeah, the seller will be talking about that soon. Yeah, oats, soy, hay, all that stuff out of Al, right? All that could be going up. So you're talking about animal feed prices too, so that affects the price of beef, chicken, everything. It all trickles down, I guess you'd say, in a way of saying. All right, Bobby, take care of those goats. Come back and watch the rest when you're done. Have a good day, Bobby. We'll talk to you later. Yeah, the price of milk too, right, Uncle Al? Yep, there you go. Price of milk could be affected, or will be affected, without a doubt. Probably fairly widespread. I don't know. Out west, our supplies come so much from the food grown in California and the stuff grown out west. It may be regionalized somewhat, but still, if they can get an extra supply by paying more, they will. So it could spill over. This depends on how big the damage is, I guess. It's hard to tell from the limited videos I've saw, but you gotta figure the whole Midwest feeds the East Coast, the Northeast. They ain't getting food from nowhere else. We have a little bit of a stock up here in the West, but out East it's gotta come to the from the Midwest. Point. And you can have all those issues. Rooster, can't you see the big city? Going to Reno. Going to Reno, big city of Reno. As you can't, if you can't see it, it's right there in front of you. That's what I call the big city. That's my taste, you know. Yeah, I'm milking that gas, driving this windscreen I'm driving, basically. It's like driving a brick, driving a Jeep. Yeah, it definitely doesn't pay to speed in a Jeep. You're just going to waste gas. Yeah, I got an appointment here in the big city, so take everybody along, see what's going on, update the situation on the current events. right, Tony? Yeah, it's not windy today. It's not windy this morning. So Washoe Valley back that way was always, Washoe Valley's bad sometimes. You get blown all over the place. That's where they stop trucks from driving through there when it's bad. You get trucks blown over there all the time. They'll push the Jeep all over the place trying to drive through there. Quasar's gonna run the Google car off the road. So many walls, they don't work. And these are just sound walls. They're not even designed for people. If they made these sound walls for the border, they'd probably solve 90% of the problem. And they're probably cheaper. They're just designed to keep out sound. All the neighborhoods trying to keep the sound out. Hey, glad you could be here, Tommy. Good to see you. Without doing the regular morning chats, it's kind of been hit and miss, so it's good to catch people at a certain time, you know. Check in, see what's going on. Update everybody. Stay in touch, stay in contact. Sharing of information. Is Tony going to put a lift on that pig? Quasar's going to feed cat food to the serfs. Oh man. Something wrong with you, Quasar. Something wrong with Quasar indeed. Alright, so we're going to wrap it up here. Or start wrapping it up. I don't know. I got a few minutes. I'm a little early, so I'll be able to chat it up a little bit. Let me get into the house here. To the destination. Quasar's going to feed his field workers cat food. I don't know if that's going to work so well. You might have an uprising and a riot. You know, that's revolts come from, you know, Quasar, from withholding food from the people. Make sure I hit my exit. Talking to you guys, I'm going to miss my turn. Not paying attention. Distracted driving. Something like that, right? If I can remember which exit it is, I always hit the wrong. I hit the wrong one twice. But you just make a loop and come back around. Quasar mutinies will be put down. Are you one of those people that's not going to let your servants can't own firearms? Are you one of those tyrants? Sounds like you're going to be part of the problem, not the solution, Quasar. You know? Yeah, just to wrap up though, we talked about in the beginning, I just wanted to highlight the Gregory Mannarino video from this morning, talking about the bond yield inversion and how that's going to affect the stock market and other economic problems. The Fed ceased its bond selling program. It's not going to raise interest rates. So all those are signs that the economy is not going good at all. Not at all. Go check out those videos if you didn't see Greg's video. Praxis Prepper did the video this morning about the flooding and the effect on food prices. Just be aware of that. Be ready for it as best you can, because food prices going up, combined with the Chinese tariffs, limited supply, could have a drastic effect, really depending on what you're buying. And like we were talking about just a second ago, trickles over into other prices on beef and feed and milk and everything else. So lots of secondary, third order effects on that deal if you didn't think about it or hadn't thought about it. Cat food must be full of sugar. Good point, Tracy. Yep, that's true. You're gonna make your surfs livestock there, Angel? This whole long pork discussion is disturbing. You long pork people, I don't get it. Hey, prepare yourself. Welcome to the chat. Thanks for checking in. We're kind of getting to the end of the discussion, but thanks for dropping by. That's how much I don't like to go to the city. I don't know the exits well enough to get where I'm going efficiently. Hey, 520! What's going on? I haven't talked to you in forever. Yeah, we're going to have to get some time to set up a spring grow chat to talk about what everybody's growing or ideas. I'm sure 520's probably already got his spring planting going, as hot as it is down there. We're just now getting outside with all the snow and weather we've had. So what is the planning situation down there, 520? Everybody go mute. Everybody went mute. Daniel M checks in. Good morning, afternoon. What? Yeah, it's still morning. 520 didn't want to talk about planning, I guess. Oh, there he is. Situation's too busy to plant anything besides a small garden. Oh, is that right? Hey, plant what you can, right? You've got enough foraging skills there, 520. You don't have to plant much. You know? Quasar, you're moving in July for sure. Are you moving out of state or are you staying in the show me? Oh, you're staying in Missouri? Oh, no doubt, Daniel. You got to keep it yourself. You ain't getting it from nobody. Ain't no handouts. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, moving sucks without a doubt, right, Tracy? Well, like when I moved a couple years ago, I mean, that was not far at all. That was just a couple miles. And that was a hassle of all hassles. It was probably more of a hassle because we kept more junk that we didn't need to, because we were only moving a few miles. If we were moving across the country, it probably would have been easier because we'd only taken the exact essentials. But we took every pot, pan, piece of yard junk, everything else that you can imagine, just because we were staying in the same area. I think long distance, you get to feel good about it. You know? .520's got a cactus garden. Yeah, that cactus idea, I still haven't gotten to work on that. I like the idea of cactus for the perimeter to keep some security measures going, especially the coyotes. But the good thing is I haven't had a problem with coyotes, fortunately, this birthing season. And since we got our big dog so we got our big dog last summer, and it's been pretty, we haven't really had some in our area since. And our neighbor put up a fence around the back of his property, which kind of borders ours. So it cut off one of their like travel patterns. And I think that's really helped out a lot too. They don't have a easy access right up to one of our fences because he put his back fence up. So our coyote problem has been alleviated, it seems like, at least in the interim, until they get really hungry, or if they haven't moved on, they come back or whatever. But hopefully, our coyotes are rectified, and the cactus thing can be more just as a food source than anything. 520 is going to buy the house across the street. You're not buying the house where that guy died and the wife died in the middle of the night, right? Where the sheriff shows up asking questions. You're not buying that place, are you? Maybe you are. That's always kind of weird, buying a place where questionable activities have taken place. Wait, what's 35 miles east of Elko, Tracy? Are you buying a place 35 minutes east? That's pretty cool. Yeah, that video I posted last week, we were, actually that was out Winnemucca way, but we were up in that area last week, taking care of business. Was it last week? Man, yeah, that was last week, wasn't it? Yeah, it's nice country up there. It's kind of like western Utah. So what's going on out in Elko way? What I missed, Tracy? Oh, you're moving to Deeth. Okay. Right on, Tracy. Nice. It's paid for. That's a bonus. That's awesome. It's nice country out that way. A little chilly in the winter. Definitely not Vegas. Definitely got to stock up on your wool socks and make sure you get a pair of mittens and a hat. But other than that, you should be it's a nice area. Folks, leave each other alone out there. Hey, the green dragon is checked in. So all the dragons are public again. So check out the old chats and see what we got right and wrong. Did we get anything wrong? I don't know if we ever got anything wrong. Okay, cool. So everything from the old dragons back up live. I didn't know we had hit anything, but I haven't went and checked the archives, so maybe I have to go back and check some chats and share them again for people to say, look, you were warned. Don't know what the deal is on your well water, like the well water in Deeth, like is it bad or something, or you don't know you're worried about getting the well drilled. Sometimes well drilling can be an issue, but if you're out in the valleys, it's usually not a problem because it's so you're close to the water table, so it's not too terribly expensive. But there can be contaminated wells and stuff from agriculture in particular, or mining and some of that. They got a lot of oil drilling, gas drilling going out there in the last couple years. It's been booming. When I was there, I mean, the oil and gas trucks are all over town where they spend the night. They pretty much fill up the hotels there, you know. Look at that, 10 minutes early. Gives me 5 minutes to wrap up with you guys. Oh, they're talking about everyone having a meter. Yeah, but that got shot down in the last legislature. I don't think they've reintroduced it this time around. Or is Elko County talking about it? I wouldn't imagine Elko County talking about that. And they proved it. Goodness. They talked about it at the last legislature where they talked about doing that. And they showed the numbers and they proved it. The mining industry and the surface water rights users are like 80% of the water use, and like in household well water use is like 2% of the total well water use in Nevada. It's like it's not even close to being the problem if they're worried about, you know, excessive water use. As long as they're monitoring all the water rights users appropriately, the homestead well water uses is not the problem. It's these industrial uses and the other users that are that where the deficit may lie. And the biggest issue is people giving out water rights for political gain and not getting monitored properly, not using their water appropriately. People that are holding on to water rights and not using them, because by Nevada law, you have to use your water or lose it. And people are holding on to water rights without using it and getting leverage to sell it and stuff like that. And then you have people abusing it too. So people are selling water rights that don't, when they don't have enough water rights to sell in that area, they oversell over what they call over appropriation. What they talk about the appropriation of water, they over appropriate a water basin, and there's not enough. Technically, there's not enough water to go around because they've basically sold too many water rights to surface water users and whatnot. Yeah, Tracy, that's that outcome was last legislature. That got shot down. Now, these with the Democrats in charge now, they're going to probably try to steal as much water as they can from northern Nevada to get to Vegas. They just got shot down, 6 months ago? They got shot down from stealing it from White Pine County, taking it to Vegas. They were trying to steal water, and they were getting pushed back, and they took it to court, and the court said you can't just take their water. Yeah, that's a big problem. It's just like LA. LA went out. The thing is, LA had the leverage, 50 years ago, and they went out and got their water and just basically took it from the rural areas without much fight because they had that leverage back then. Vegas doesn't have that clout like LA had, but people don't want to do the hard thing and realize that water in Vegas should be a lot more expensive than it is, All right, folks, I got to go. 5 minutes early is good enough. Appreciate everybody dropping by. Good chat. Do not comply, right? Don't comply to anything, right, Green Dragon? Hey, thanks for checking in, fellas. Hey, Tyler, let's talk about prepping. Thanks for checking in. Everybody else, appreciate it. We'll talk to y'all later, somewhere on the YouTube. Y'all have a good weekend. If we don't see you, you know what to do. Go out and live free.